Eriador is diminished. The time of the Eldar is fading, and the deeds of the men of the West are preserved only in their ruins. The shadow of a fear of ages past threatens all the free peoples of Middle-earth. And yet, hope remains. For in the hearts of unlikely folk is the strength to wander through shadow kept. And only thence can they come to the morning. And though the road is long and treacherous and full of peril, it is a road that these companions must travel. And only through strength of loyalty, friendship, and hope can they overcome the obstacles ahead. May the goodwill of elves, men, and all free folk go with them.
The company inches ever closer to finding the mysterious Dayor. After dealing with a pack of hungry wolves, all seemingly marked with ash, they make their way further south and east toward the angle. There, Orothel waited for them and regaled them with her tale. Now the company is tasked with crossing the river and picking up Dayor's trail, and hopefully finding his purpose in these lands. With any luck, his road would be an easy one.
When last we left off, you all had made your way from Bree down the Great East Road just past Weathertop and down just east of the South Downs, where you had encountered some wolves, fought them off rather valiantly, and then made your way even further south to meet at the Angle, where Orothel sat and wait for you. She disclosed to you that she had spoken with the wise women of Medcott down at Swanfleet, and that just across the river, which as you can see, you're watching it, the river at this point where the Loudwater and the Horwell meet is very swift and deep. It would not be an easy ford. However, she points out to you just on the other side of the river, the boat, which she surmises is Dayor's boat, lies abandoned in some reeds just across the way. And she says, just before you all went to bed, that the next morning, you all would find a way to ford the river and pick up his trail. And so, is there anything that you all would like to do before you go to bed?
Is he heading towards... He's heading away from the Angle and away from the tower and such that
he's going up
Thrush knows about, the things that Thrush knows about, or inside the Angle, right?
Correct. His boat is basically, from what you can tell, the Loudwater and the Horwell come to a meeting point just upstream from where you're at. It looks like he abandoned the boat before the two rivers met.
Okay. I guess ask Orothel if she knows if there's a better place to ford downstream. Because there's not a good one upstream, because then we'd have to ford twice.
So with that, Orothel looks over at you and says, while I nor any of my kin have any love for it, Erthad Celyn stands as the best place to ford the rivers. It's just a day's march north of here.
All right. So get ready to have wet feet, Miragar.
Should I take the boots off?
I was just going to suggest such.
I'm not certain that that's good. Do they help you with your footing?
I mean, kind of. But
You might want to leave them on then.
am I going to get trench foot if these boots get wet?
We could put him on a pony.
Better than being swept downstream.
Or with that, Orothel looks at you and says, "Fear not, young Hobbit. My kin have upkept the bridges at the fort at least. We'll be able to cross over there without getting our feet wet."
Perfect.
Excellent.
Well, we tend to get in mischief. So
Perhaps I should rethink traveling with you all.
it's so exciting, though.
We just haven't had the luck of boats in the past.
Rivers, boats,
You don't talk about the boats, Larry.
water. At least we're not going to get attacked by bats.
You know, the ship was
Correct.
mostly okay. It's the small ones, the boats that are a problem.
All right. And with that, you see that Orothel laces up her boots. She puts her very ornate dagger in its scabbard just on her belt and finishes wiping off her longsword and sheathes it once again. Unstrings her bow and kind of puts it in a little sling behind her back. Says, "Shall we be off?"
Let's.
Yeah.
All right. And you all make your way up north for about a day. And while in the forest, while very dense as it surrounds these rivers, the water flows very swift as you make your way north, and eventually you come to what looks to be a large drawbridge, which you cross over. And as you cross over, you can see in the center, situated on some what looks to be some large rocks, looks to be a relatively large fortress. You can see that the battlements look to be in relatively good repair. However, the towers within look to be somewhat fallen. You see stones missing and falling out, entire walls missing out of some sections of the upper floors. And the drawbridge leads into what looks to be the courtyard. And as you look upon it, you can see that the sun is currently setting, to which Orothel looks back at you all and says, "While this place is tainted, I can think of no more defensible place to spend the night."
Agreed. I'll keep lookout.
Especially if the wolves are going to keep following us.
Yes. Well, hopefully those characters that Orothel mentioned are hunting them as we speak.
Well, let it be known that it's not the wolves that I'm worried about here.
What are you worried about here then? It's not the wolves.
There is a foul presence here. My kin will use this place in times of great need. But while I know not much of its history, I do know a little, in that the men of Angmar once held this fort. Chief among them being known as, well, the Lord of Nightmares, as he was once called. Some legends tell of him as being an orc, some legends tell of him being a man, but his taint is still present. And you see she looks up around at the battlements, and you can tell that some of the towers, while they are in, or some of the battlements, which are still in good repair, have long thorny vines which reach down and stretch along the courtyard. As you wander through, you can see that there's an old fountain which has since fallen over, and roots which grow up through the stone and wind around the fallen stonework around it. We should keep careful watch here,
Definitely.
for I know
Yes.
not what evil dwells within.
Well, if you would like, we can take shifts again. I'll stay up all night, and the rest of you can cycle through.
Very good. I'll take the first shift.
Wake me in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Of course.
I'll take last shift. I can always make breakfast in the morning.
Which one?
Well, I mean, first breakfast while I'm on shift, and then second breakfast after everybody's awake. You know?
Of course.
Yeah, first breakfast goes in a crock pot. And that takes like 4 hours to make. That's why hobbits tend to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I was gonna say 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I start breakfast. It's ready by like 6 or 7, and then after we eat and we've made camp and everything, and then it's cheeses and breads and quick travel snacks, which is second breakfast. Except for apples, you don't do apples for second breakfast. That's just a snack.
Chuckle and then look over at Orothel with a shrug.
The ways of hobbits will still be a mystery to me.
Spend a couple years in the Shire and well, might gain a few pounds, but you'll be happy.
Perhaps when I retire from the road, I'll make my way that way.
Yes, I've known Miragar for quite some time, and I'd like to think I know him fairly well, but there are still some things that are a mystery even to me.
All right, and with that, you all have your dinner. The sun sets. The gloom in this area is weighty. You can feel it almost as if it's a weight on your shoulders. You kind of stretch a little bit and try to shake it out, but it seems ever present. So who is on first watch again? Aranel and Larry?
Yes.
Okay. I will have both of you give me a scan roll, if you please.
Gosh darn it.
All right.
Good God.
Look at the Gandalf. Double Gandalf!
Double Gandalf. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you both set up, and perhaps you take a place atop one of the battlements and look out on the forest below. As you're looking around, you can see the wind blows in from the west and moves the tops of the trees. However, Aranel, with your 6, you can actually see, it looks as though there's movement in the woods just off to the east and south, relatively close to where you entered the tree line. Perhaps you just narrowly avoided it, but there seems to be movement outside of the wind, climbing through the trees. It's tough to make out exactly what it is, but you can tell that this forest is far from uninhabited.
Alright, she will point it out to Larry, and perhaps we should keep a specific eye on that area there.
Yes. Should I wake anyone yet?
I suppose we can wait a little bit, but
All right.
Okay.
be ready, just in case.
Yes.
All right. And the rest of you, as you sleep, you toss and turn and are haunted by dreams of the far north. You see sheer white blizzards, howling winds which deafen you, and eventually the sheet of snow clears and you see in front of you a black hill rising in front of you, getting closer and closer as it envelops the entire horizon. And eventually you come to, as your vision blackens, you come underneath the surface of the water. And you can see just above you, you can see the sun shining down, and you try to swim up towards it. You swim, and something is dragging you down. You cannot seem to reach the surface. I'm going to need, let's see, Miragar and Thrush to both make me a wisdom save for Shadow.
Wisdom save, you say?
Don't be afraid to use the Gandalf buff if you need it.
Oh no!
Yeah, I think I'm, and that is is that considered a hope point, basically?
No, you
or just an extra die?
Use a fellowship point and then you make it favored.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it makes it favored.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And my dice are pitch black for some reason.
Gandalf!
Gandalf rune!
I'm gonna have
you
to
might.
reconnect.
Yeah, you have to refresh.
You
all
might
right.
want to give that success die to Miragar if you can.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. Can I?
I think for skill rolls you could, but not for these.
Gotcha.
So, as you sleep, you toss and turn, and Miragar, you gain 1 point of shadow.
Oof.
As it seems that there may be some sort of a fell sorcery on this area.
I only have 5. It's fine.
Now, as you toss and turn, Larry and Aranel, you spy, as you're looking out on the forest, maybe one of you turns because you feel a gust of wind, or maybe you hear the crack of a twig, but you turn and you see movement within the fort, a shambling movement, lumbering up from what looks to be
Knocking
an
and aiming.
open doorway.
Well, you
Yeah,
prepare.
she's gonna shoot at whatever this is.
Just shoot it? Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. This poor hobbit that's been camping here forever.
Howdy ho, neighbor.
Okay, if it's a hobbit, she wouldn't shoot it. But if
No.
it's like,
I am totally joking.
yeah,
Shambling hobbit.
exactly.
He's a shamblefoot.
All right. Well, while Aranel is prepping that, I am waking the others up.
So as you are keeping watch, you can see Miragar, Thrush, and Orothel all sleeping, tossing and turning as this creature shambles forward. And you see this character
That's-
shambling towards you. A crown wrought of iron, tattered clothes, which would resemble someone of a higher station. And it seems as though he has found you. So with that, we are going to go into combat. Aranel, you said you're going to go ahead and loose an arrow.
Yes, sir.
At the moment, Miragar, Thrush, and Orothel are still asleep. So Larry and Aranel, if I could speak today, good lord, are the only two who get an opening volley.
All right. Do my scanny scan. Ooh, no extras, but that's okay. I've got like a billion dice, so. Da-da-da. 4 damage.
4 points of damage. Okay. So you loose an arrow, and it passes through one of its arms, almost unimpeded, and it embeds itself in the stone behind. All right. Very good. Very good.
And as this is going on, Larry's yelling down like to the others, "Wake up!"
All right. And as you're doing this, Thrush, you awaken to the sound of, well, you both awaken to the sound of Larry screaming out for you.
Wondrous.
All right. And this thing is not going to get an opening volley, but as soon as you all see its visage, I need everybody to make me another shadow test for dread, which would be valor.
Even us sleepy guys, or did we wake up?
You're both awake.
Yeah, we woke up and looked and went, ooh.
I'm gonna go ahead and use a Gandalf rune for this.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh, god dang it. Never mind. That was a bad.
Alright, I am going to not use one, so I don't use them all up on you guys.
Okay.
But I have a pretty good valor.
Dang. Even with all that, I still did not hit it. That's too bad.
All right.
I'm gonna use a Gandalfy. And I'm so very happy that I did.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's good thing. All right, so Aranel and Larry, you both gain 3 points of shadow.
Jesus Christ.
I guess
Moth,
those
you're trying to kill
arrows-
me.
Those
And
arrows passing through must have been like, oh no.
furthermore, as this thing looks at you with its baleful blue eyes, you lose all hope and are therefore unable to use hope this encounter.
So does
Okay.
my hope go to 0, or I just can't use it?
You just can't use it. You just
Okay.
can't use it.
Okay, that's much better.
That's way better. Because if it
It's
was
still
the
not
other
good,
way-
but that's much better.
Yeah.
Aranel, use the love interest card and
The Lord of Nightmares is now love.
All right.
it's gonna work.
Bear with me for just a second, because this, for some reason, is not closing the pop out.
20 minutes later.
So, I've made a big boo-boo as the recorder of this show. We have gone about, what round is it? We are on round 3, and I was sorting out some technical difficulties and paused the recording and forgot to hit record again. So we have gone through 2 rounds of melee as the party has gone. It's yes, dagnabbit indeed. The party has gone back and forth with this as this entity has tried to entrance it with its horrible spells, and they've been able to shake it off, trading blows. It's not been able to lay a hand on any of its targets, yet any wound that it seems to sustain seems to be shrugged off. And at a certain point, the hunt started as the eye awareness threshold has been reached. It used a good number of hate points, and yet at that point, the clouds gathered over the moon, and the shadows seemed to lengthen in this courtyard. And all of its hate points were replenished, and everyone in the party loses a success die on all of their attack rolls until some sort of a light source is found, or until this thing is vanquished, this Lord of Nightmares. And so, with that, I apologize to both the cast and the audience for all of that, as it seems as though this is a very we're pros, guys. We're pros.
Well-oiled machine.
We are professionals.
We are professionals with this. However, we pick back up just after Thrush had rolled quite the attack. He deals 11 points of endurance damage, as well as prompting a protection roll. So the Lord of Nightmares is going to go ahead and roll that protection roll.
Gandalf.
Wounded!
Like Gandalf, but wounded.
You guys are so good at wounding things that you are wearing him down of hate points as you land yet another killing blow once again, and yet it stays up. But you are doing damage to it.
Get him, Miragar!
All right, and it is Miragar's turn.
Well, stepping away from the rest of the party for just a moment, Miragar is going to run over to the remnants of the fire and out of his pack grab a few fireworks that he stole from the wizard, and using a battle roll, he is going to shoot them around the area, hoping to, at least for this round, until he can kind of get back with a torch to negate the effects of the shadow that lays upon the battlefield at the moment.
I love it. All right, give me a battle roll.
I'm not great at it, but having an item gives me an extra die, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm going to use a hope. That hope die. Of course.
Oh no.
Oh no. So, I'm going to leave this to you. What goes wrong?
So I feel like they might have gotten wet.
Oh,
So they just don't fire off.
Yeah, so it's more of just like a and it just sort of spurts, and they go all of like 2 feet in front of me and dive down, and then Miragar just grabs up a torch and is trying to get one to be a good torch as he'll make his way back to the rest of the party next round.
Okay, very good. So, next up is Larry.
Larry is going to stifle through his apothecary kit and just look for any like dried herbs he can, and he's going to try to ignite those and make a makeshift torch with those.
Okay, give me a craft roll.
And extra die because I'm using something.
Unfortunately, it seems as though the herbs may be just a little too wet as well.
Yeah.
You're unable to get them to ignite in a significant fashion.
Yeah.
All right, Aranel.
Alright. So on these battlements, are there places where fires could be lit for like torches or whatever?
We'll say that you can see along the battlements. Perhaps there are emptied braziers. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess she's just gonna start trying to make a fire because obviously her bows is not doing anything. I'm trying to think.
Need to get rid of this
Probably just like take apart a couple of torches to try to make a bigger fire.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that would call for probably a craft roll.
Okay. I can't use hope, so hope this goes
Yeah.
well.
Yeah!
Yes!
No
Yes!
way, dude.
Every time.
You all watch
Oh,
as you try to put together some sort of makeshift torch and nothing seems to be working, and yet from atop the battlements, a beacon of hope emblazons the area in a bright yellow light, filling you all with hope once again. Well
it's a lot
done,
easier to make a
Aranel.
torch when it's not in your face.
Well done, Aranel. Dang. All right. So, with that, Orothel, reinvigorated, is going to lash out once again at the Lord of Nightmares.
Ooh.
And she hits for a hearty roll, and he's going to make a protection roll. And he's wounded yet again.
Oh my gosh.
All right, and you can see as she lashes out, she severs an arm clean off of him.
Nice.
Let's see. And he's actually going to absorb that.
He's gonna try and Thrush is gonna try and remember that spot because he did that same thing and it didn't stick. So he's like, wow, where did she hit him? It's a special spot.
All right, and it is back to the Lord of Nightmares' turn. At the lighting of this beacon, he looks atop the battlements. And Aranel, you can see in his eyes the same baleful blue light that the Lady Gwendave had used upon you before. I need you to make yet another sorcery roll, or wisdom roll for sorcery, if you would.
whew, wisdom's at least better.
Well, you can use a fellowship point because that's not a hope point.
Yep, I'm doing that because I don't
Make
want
it
to
favored.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Aranel, you gain... Oh, good lord. You gain an additional 3 shadow points.
Oh, you.
I think Aranel's adding a new scar, I think.
Yeah,
As
she's
soon as your eyes meet, you are enraptured in his gaze, and you fall unconscious.
God damn it!
Not again.
It always happens to me.
I tried going for everybody else first, I'm sorry.
You're the one who actually lit the torch.
That's
All right. And with that, he is going to lash out at Miragar.
Yeah, all I did was shoot fire and try to
Leave
shoot
our
the
Hobbit
gun.
alone.
Oh, that
no.
wasn't even.
No.
Let's see. He's going to grab a hold of you, and you are effectively seized as you are unable to move. He has grabbed you and is gripping tightly onto you, his grip like iron, a cold steel.
No uppies, please. Thank you.
Downies.
All right, and back to Thrush. You look up, and Aranel falls flat atop the battlements. You see this thing has lashed out and has gripped onto Miragar and is holding him tightly in its grip.
He's going to yell out, "No!" and move at it. Attack it. This monstrous creature. I'm going to use a hope point.
So is Aranel's light still visible at least?
Yes.
Yeah, I tore apart some torches and lit them in a brazier.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, good gosh. Okay.
Good
Holy.
fire.
He's angry. Rush is very angry.
I want to take off his other arm.
Okay.
It's just but a
Right.
scratch.
So basically, make Aranel unconscious and then Thrush goes into beast mode. Got it.
You just every fight you just go,
Yes.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
and then look up.
Just, oh.
Exactly.
All right. You can see that this would have been a killing blow as you drive your sword between its ribs once again and slice outward, making a large gash that severs the front of its tunic in half, and it drops to the ground. But yet again, it spins a hate and negates it, bringing it back to full endurance.
Did it have to drop Miragar though?
No.
Wow.
The only way that Miragar, so the way that Seize works, the only way that Miragar can get away is if it makes a successful brawling roll. Yep.
Ooh. All
So-
right. Well, good thing I can see through this creature. Larry's right there with a spear.
Yep.
All right,
I
Larry.
am now in forward stance because I will not let my best buddy being grabbed like that stand.
You've got the best spear in the world.
All right. So
Go.
I have Superior Fell and Superior Grievous. So how do I add those?
Yes, those are built in.
Okay. Awesome.
Another 6 points of damage. And you can see as you make contact with your spear, it seizes, and almost as if fresh rigor mortis has come over it. You can tell that whatever you did with your spear has an uncanny effect on this entity. All right, and with that, it is Miragar's turn.
I think Miragar is. Well, I guess he'll try the brawl, right? That's to get.
I think that's the only thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, real. So die.
Oh,
Well,
no.
okay. Now, since I'm in forward stance, would I effectively get that extra D6 on that? I guess I didn't ask.
You rolled a 16? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, we'll just say that you effectively are able to fight your way out of its grip. You do damage either way, but you did get a 6, so you are effectively released.
So you just do you just want me to roll the dagger and then do damage, or
We'll say, because your dagger is base 2, unless, would you say that you were trying to fight it off with your torch?
yeah,
it's
I
not
probably
lit,
would have
it's
been.
not lit, though. I don't think, is it?
That, or we could do. I mean, story-wise, it probably would have been the pan. So we could do the unarmed, which is 1.
Okay, that'll
Bonk.
work.
That way, yeah.
That'll work. You
Pretty
bonk
much
it.
Bonk him.
We hear a very loud ding as it hits his
Yeah.
crown.
With that, as you slam your cast iron skillet down on its wrist, and you can hear bones crack
Yep,
underneath of
put
it.
some good sound effects for that in post, Moss.
Yeah, definitely will. All right, and so you are released. Aranel is unfortunately
Asleep
Ouch.
again.
She is asleep. only to be roused with a song roll. However, Orothel is going to encircle around it, target it, and is
You know, for an elf
to-
who's not supposed to sleep, she sure takes a lot of naps at very inconvenient times.
It's not my fault.
Oh, snap! A
Fucking
Gandalf rune!
Gandalf.
Yes!
Orothel coming in.
So I think we've learned that a woman must always get a Gandalf rune.
Yes,
And
Gandalf is
since-
the sim.
And since
Protection roll.
Aranel cannot, it goes to Orothel.
All right. Ba-ba-ba.
Wounded.
Wounded yet again. Weighing down on its hate. You can see she slices at the nape of its neck, and you see its head hangs loosely to the side. And what should have been a killing blow, yet again, is unfortunately not, as you are draining its resources, however. All
Getting
right.
quite tired of these undead nightmares, Thrush.
That's why you have the spear. Orothel's going to get a chance to look at those lovely blue eyes. Well, hopefully not. She's an old lady. Leave her alone.
All right. And finally, it is going to attempt a... Actually, you know what it's going to do? It's going to lash out twice at you, Larry.
Of course it is. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Oh, yeah, I guess spear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by
So,
that.
its attack is favored.
Mm,
Oh no.
just barely.
All right.
All that, which
So-
is crazy.
Those sixes are not
Yeah, not great.
really a good thing.
It cannot pierce, but it's going to do 16 points of damage to you, Larry.
All right. I will take that.
Can he do the fall back thing? Or
Yeah,
not?
if you want, you can use the fallback option.
All right, so I'll take half that then.
Okay, and your next action will be used to regain your position,
All right.
if that works.
Yep. Let me
Okay.
add- Let me add. Okay. Added the health back.
And this thing lashes out at you, and you feel its long nails with dirt underneath slash against your cheeks and open wounds underneath of your skin. And you feel the taint of evil just sink into your skin. It lashes out at you once more.
Thanks.
Oh no.
And this time it is going to seize you as you take an additional 6 damage.
Mm.
And that is its turn as it focuses in on Larry and trying to bring him down with his horrible, horrible weapon. Thrush, it is your turn yet again.
Well, time to go. No.
Later.
So we've got a couple of. So when Larry gets to his turn, he can't attack it. He can only brawl because he's seized.
Correct.
Okay, and Miragar can attack. I want to bring Aranel up, but I don't think I can do that. Well, actually, wait.
Did you
Oh.
give yourself Shadow, Miragar? Because I didn't actually get injured. I only got endurance loss.
Oh, oops. I always accidentally.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's only wounds.
Yeah,
I
only
can't
wounds.
use the I can't use the flute in any way in the combat, obviously, to do anything unless I use my whole action. I'd have to use the song action to do it. So yeah, I think he's
Correct.
going to attack. He, as much as he'd like her to be awake right now, he's got to keep trying to chip away at this thing's ability to destroy us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can
So-
try to go awake and Aranel on my turn.
Okay. All right. He's going to add a hope point on this and smack the thing and roll lots of bad. Look at all those ones.
Oh no.
No. Wow. That is. I don't think
That's
I've rolled that many ones before.
crazy. You
Wow.
see this. You see this entity pummeling on Larry, and it fills you with dread. You're just so staggered by what you're seeing that you're unfortunately unable to land a good hit.
All right.
All right, Larry, it's your turn.
Can I do any secondary actions while I'm seized? I'm guessing not.
It depends on what it is.
I was gonna attempt the song roll to be able to ignore wariness.
Sure. Yeah, I'd say if you wanted to like close your eyes and think of Nellie's fall. If you wanted to try that, you're more than welcome to try that. Oh!
Nope.
Oh no.
Well, too bad. All right. Well, time for the brawling then. Yep.
This thing's cast iron grip on your arm. It just will not let go.
Yep.
All right, Miragar.
Miragar's gonna take off and try to go wake Aranel up.
All right. Go ahead and give me a song roll, if you please.
Song roll? Yikes.
Sorry, she's not a hobbit.
Oh, that
Otherwise,
was
you could just
so
go first.
close, dude. I saw that Gandalf rune.
Yeah.
It was
Oh
right
my
there.
god.
So close.
Well, it's up to the Rangers.
Unfortunately, it seems as though the words of your song are unable to break through whatever trance has enraptured Aranel. All right.
It's up to the Rangers to save the day.
Orothel is going to swing out at him yet again. Hopefully with another Gandalf rune.
An extraordinary success would be great.
Oh! Dang, man!
Well, not a Gandalf rune, but we take those.
She just needed a moment.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so protection roll.
Wounded.
It's wounded.
Wounded! Oh god!
Good.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Out of hate yet.
If the hunt hadn't started mid-combat, it
Yeah.
would have been out of hate a long time ago.
Oh, I have no doubt of that.
But you see that it is able to negate that once more. All right, but it does still do 7 points of endurance damage as you are whittling away at this Lord of Nightmares resources.
Me? We cut off its arms.
Okay, and
See, it's a metaphysical.
Finally. You see, this thing is actually going to pull you in close, Larry, and you can feel the cold of its presence and smell the rankness of decay and feel the taint of the shadow upon you as it looks deeply into your eyes. I need a wisdom roll from you, please.
Yep. And I will use a fellowship point.
Do it.
So we'll make it in favored.
Nice!
There we go.
Nice.
Nice.
I-
You
I probably spit in its face.
yes.
No.
You steel yourself against the shadow. You spit in its face, and it lashes out as it's got a hold of you. It lashes out at you once again. We'll say that it comes in to bite you or something.
Ugh.
Boop. Unable to get a wound, but it does still deal 6 points of damage to you, Larry.
Yep. I'm still up.
All right. And then back to the top. Thrush.
All right.
You look and you can see that this thing is hanging on by a thread.
Let's try and sever that thread.
Larry's tanking real good.
He is. All right, we're going to use another point of hope, and we are going to. Oh, actually, I should edit this way. This will. If I click on hope point bonus die, it'll take it off for me automatically, right?
Yes.
Because I've been adding the bonus die, and I'm like, oh, I got to remember to go do it. Okay.
It should take it off for you. I'm not 100% sure. I've not been on that side.
It,
All right.
it does. Yeah.
Well,
It does.
Jeepers
There we
creepers.
go.
All right. So,
All right. Get wounded. Heavy blows.
Die.
Yes.
Thrush, would you like to tell me
Die.
how the Lord of
Yes.
Nightmares finally meets, how his bodily form finally vanishes from the earth?
I like to imagine when I spit in its face, it gave him an opening.
he's like, what? So he moves in again as the thing has got its hands around him and trying to take a bite. As it rears itself back, he is going to bring Mythor through, severing both of its arms. And then in the wonderful Aragorn move, he is just going to grab it by the throat solidly and crush what's connecting its head to its body and let it dissipate.
And
And push it away from Larry.
And you hear it gurgles. Its final gurgle as the lifeless form, what was always lifeless, but now the spirit flees from its earthly vessel. It falls to the ground.
Quickly move to help
Thank you,
Larry
Thrush.
up. Thank you. Whatever you did to it made it incredibly mad at you.
Yes, well, I don't think it likes this new Minorians. We should go check on Aranel. I'll be okay. I'm just exhausted. It didn't actually hurt me.
Miragar, is she all right?
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! She's not waking up.
Alrighty.
Thrush is going to then mount the stairs and just start whispering. What was that little lullaby she had been singing to Skilda?
It was something in Elvish.
An Elvish thing. He's going to just gently, grab her by the wrist and start, chafing her wrist and start singing to her.
All right, give me a song roll.
Alright, I'm going to use my Defiance ability to give myself 4 endurance back.
There we go.
Holy
Very
cow!
good.
Where was that in
Alright.
combat? Well, I
For
did
the-
get one of those.
For the first time in many moons, Aranel, you have found a deep sleep. But it was not a blissful sleep, and you do not awaken refreshed. You awaken hopeless, full of dread.
Oh,
Oh, and the first
Can
thing
we
you
not
see
do
is
that
a scraggly ranger from the north looking down at you, a little concerned.
oh, not good.
Larry's just in a corner, like panting. Like, I'm glad you're back. We dealt with it. Thrush got it. I made it very mad, and that gave him an opening.
Yeah, we all worked to take it down.
Yes.
Good, good. I'm gonna take a minute. And she's just gonna kind
Yeah.
of wander off to a corner,
Thrush
like,
is going to kindle the
try
fire in the middle of
pushing down.
the thing. He's just going to kindle a bright fire in the center over there.
Yeah. Larry's like, well, I think my shift was over. I think I'm just gonna go to bed.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, she's taking another scar.
And look at Miragar and just say,
Not good.
that pan.
I'm starting to think it's not just normal iron.
I don't know. Maybe. It's been in my family for a while.
It's seasoned then.
Yeah,
How
I
about
might
we-
wash it a little bit though. Every time that thing hit it, it kind of he points out a couple spots that are
Frozen.
rusted looking. Yeah.
Maybe we should try cooking something in it. A bit of bacon? Something? Not that I want bacon right now, but I like some bacon right now.
I can most certainly do that.
I could go for some tea. She's just
I'll have
Oh,
whatever's
bacon.
left after I have some rest.
Good idea.
And you see, as you build the fire, you all are having this conversation, and Orothel just stares deeply into the fire, wordless.
And this is why we don't spend evenings here, I suppose.
Never before had I heard the tales of spirits or anything dwelling these halls. This is ill-fated news. Something has awoken these spirits.
Where did it come from? You're just looking over where it came from?
You look over and you can see that there is a door which leads into what is a now crumbled tower. You can see that there is a door which was slightly ajar and is now opened as this entity made its way out.
I kind of want to take a peek in there really quickly just to make sure that there's no other problems. Just keep doing what you're doing, and he's going to get a torch and a bright, well-burning torch and take it with him.
Okay.
And just kind of peek in there and see if there's any sign of any other nefarious doings in here, like someone woke it up, or if it's just
we've been stirring up trouble?
Yeah, absolutely.
Miragar, after he gets food starting to cook, will kind of inspect the corpse to see if there's any signet ring or insignia or anything like that he can maybe get identified later.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me a scan roll if you would, Miragar. Okay.
I'm always one off on this.
You can tell that he's not actually wearing any jewelry at the moment. You go and you look at his now severed arm. The fingers are free, or what fingers are left are free of any jewelry, and the arm that is still attached is also free of any jewelry. You do see that he does wear some ornate, like he wears like what once was an ornate brooch that held his cloak together. It's now tarnished, and it looks as though it doesn't have any sort of signifier on it. It just looks to be something which was worn that was of value. Now, Thrush, as you you stick your torch in through the door, you open it up, and you can see that this opens up onto a landing. And you can see just off to your left a staircase which winds upward. And the other way, you look over to your right, and a staircase winds downward. Go ahead and give me an awareness roll really quickly.
Okay. Do I want to use a point? I'll use a point. Why not? What am I going to do with them anyway, right? Right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm missing by one.
Yeah.
By one of...
Always by one.
Yeah, well, that's how we do things around here.
Yep.
As you you stick your head in and you listen in, and you can hear the faint sounds of water dripping probably from the ceiling of one of the lower chambers into what sounds like standing water.
Okay.
But it sounds like that's about it.
Okay. He is going to just go down to the stairs until he reaches the water and just pass the torch around and look and make sure there's nothing else stirring the water, nothing else moving. Just look around quickly and then come on back up.
You can make your way down the stairs, and as you reach the water, you can see that the staircase leads into a long underground hallway, and you can see what look to be wooden doors on either side of the hallway, both closed and some of them currently slightly open, leading into rooms on either side. As you look at the water, you kind of examine it, and there are ripples in the water, and you look up and you can see that it looks as though the drops coming down from the ceiling are what making the ripples. It doesn't seem as though there's anything else that's disturbing the water.
All right. Well, then he will turn, go back up the stairs, and come back to the fire, stick the torch back in, let it burn down as a piece of firewood, and just tell them, I found stairs up, stairs down, a long hallway full of water, and wooden doors. So it might be something that'd be interesting to explore at some point, but I don't see any danger at the moment.
We can check in the morning if anything.
Should we?
Why are you awake?
Should we maybe give this guy a more ceremonial?
Yes, that's kind of what I was.
Burn his body, or
I was looking to see if there was anything else, remnants of anything like that down there where he came from, but I don't see anything. So I'd say yes, if we can. It's not a bad idea.
I say maybe. Is fire pyre a little bit away from ours? Huh.
A good idea. And yeah, take the body over there and set things up while they're making a little bit of food during this watch, and set it ablaze when we get a chance.
All right. So you take some time. Some of you cook food. Some of you build a pyre to throw this rotting corpse onto, which was most likely a lord of some kind. And you build the pyre, and you watch as the ashes... What's that?
Yeah, the Lord of Nightmares.
Yes, the Lord of Nightmares. And you watch as little bits of cloth catch flame and then drift upwards into the air. And you can smell the smell of smelly smells, which would be Hobbit food.
I was about to say, oh no, Miragar takes 10 asbestos damage because his cloak was cold.
Yes, you can smell. Then it's an odd sensation as the smell of old burning, rotting flesh mingles with the sense of fresh food.
I'll make sure that Orothel has some, so I know she's been staring just kind of into the fire. Just nudge her when we get food handed out and tell her to eat something.
Yeah, I think Aranel would be doing something similar, but just like sipping tea, looking at the flames, just like compressing all of the shadowy stuff back in the recesses.
Why do I
her
keep getting? If I had a nickel for every time I got knocked unconscious by,
Yeah, 2 nickels.
2 nickels!
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice.
All right, so you all sit back, and the rest of the night, you all take your turns watching, and the rest of the night seems uneventful, quiet. And you all can successfully get a prolonged rest. You can use your fellowship points to restore hope as need be.
I'm gonna take 1.
Go for it. Right now, I don't have any shadow, so I only have 4 hope left, but I don't have any shadow, so at the moment, I'm not worried about going miserable. So if somebody else needs to take the last one.
I've got 4 shadow, but I'm at 9 hope at the moment. And I couldn't spend any in that encounter, so I haven't used it.
True.
Yeah.
How you doing there, Miragar?
You take the other one.
I think I might take it so I get 2 back.
Yeah.
Because I'm at
That's fair.
5 shadow.
Yep. Because you have more shadow, so I think that's a good idea. So prolonged rest, which won't really do anything because I'm okay.
It's also just nice to click the button.
It's nice clicking buttons.
It does feel good, especially when I went from having 3 endurance to I did
More
get
than
4.
3?
Well, I got 4 back because I have that racial trait or whatever.
Right.
Science.
Your classic, or what is it? Cultural virtue.
Yeah, my cultural virtue, so I was able to get up to 7. But being in the 20s is a lot better than being in 7.
Yeah.
And
I'm just glad I didn't take any actual wounds, and I actually just literally face tanked that guy.
All right, and as you all get your night's rest, you all wake up in the morning, maybe a little bit later than normal, as the sun is already up as some of you wake up. Orothel doesn't seem like she's in a hurry to wake everybody up, as the ordeal over the course of the evening had shaken a lot of you. And as you all start strapping your equipment back on, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Greetings, tavern goers, and thank you all for watching this Tales from the Dragon's Tavern production. We wanted to take a few seconds to let you know that we have just launched our first paid tier for our Patreon page. If you like battle maps, regional maps, or anything in between, you can take part in our first tier as a tavern regular. For only $2 a month, you can take advantage of all of the maps made on stream during Saturday morning map making. Fear not, young tavern goer. The free tier is still available, and every episode will be posted there for your enjoyment as well. We here at the tavern appreciate your patronage, no matter what your tab is. Thank you once again. Now let's get back to our show. And we are back as our company, reinvigorated, wakes up the next morning to find the day has already progressed a little bit without them, but the morning is still yours. Orothel is strapping on all of her gear and fastening it tight. What would you all like to do?
I'm just more curious, narratively, did she make any note of my spear?
I think she did. She comment on it last time?
Yeah, she had
Did
commented
she?
on it at
Okay.
the Watching Stones.
Gotcha. Okay, just trying to remember.
And you can tell as people remark on it, they look at it in a manner that's
Suspect.
It's kind of suspect. Like they can tell that it's of a superior make, but with the veins of black ore that run down the blade, it seems as though Estelong is
It's somewhat unsettling.
it's a little unsettling, and it almost seems as though the weapon is tainted in a way, but you can tell that it's not that they think it's evil. It's just different.
I'd like to think the taint is all the evil it absorbs when I shed their blood, but who knows?
All right.
Well, let's be off.
All right. Do you all decide to press on, or did you want to? I know you said something about investigating underneath.
Oh, yeah. Did Thrush want to investigate these ruins just to be sure?
I would like to look to make sure that we're not. I mean, we're not going to be investigating fully because I don't think we have the time. But I want to make sure that we're not leaving anything obvious like behind that's going to cause problems for the next people who come by.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And that's about it.
All right.
Like maybe an hour or two, maybe if
That's
that.
fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Let's see if we can find maybe the sarcophagus or tomb or wherever this reanimated corpse came from.
And if we can't find anything within a short amount of time, then it's not worth it because we have more pressing matters.
Okay.
Agreed.
So I would have you give me who else taking part in this? Is everybody taking part in it?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who is taking the lead?
Probably Thrush, because he's the
I
one
don't
who
think Miragar is going to go. I think he's going to stay at camp.
Okay, that's
I don't
fair.
think he wants to go into the creepy ruins.
The only reason I would say that the person taking point should be Aranel is because she has her lantern, which could shine light more properly. Oh, did you get rid of the lantern?
We traded it for a travel pillow, so I can hopefully not
That's right.
keep the
He
fatigue
can
up.
Take point down there, torch in one hand, sword in the other, and we'll just keep our eyes open because we're going to be wading in some water. So,
All right.
All right. So I would have Thrush, since you are taking the lead on this, and Orothel will trek down with you.
I was
as
about
your
to ask,
adjust-
is
as your
Miragar
causes
about to
just-
hit on this ranger lady while we're down here? But that answers that.
Yeah, this lady, she looks like she's in her 60s and human years. But
That's not Miragar before.
So I would have Thrush go ahead and give me an explore roll.
Okay.
And I would say with Orothel with you, go ahead and take an extra success die with that.
Okay. Let's see. Where is explore at? It is over here. All right. Extra success die. Oh, of course. There's the one. It's ones and twos that time.
At least it wasn't an eye of Sauron.
Exactly.
So
I mean, you did get a 6, but
yeah.
it wasn't enough.
As you traverse downstairs, you come to the standing water, and the sound of water dripping down from the ceiling continues, almost in a monotonous tone, which eventually just seeps into your brain. You travel around looking through the rooms for about an hour. You come to a few doors, which all strangely are unlocked. You can see as you move through, there are several different rooms for different purposes. You see a room full of rusted weaponry. You see rooms with what would have been barracks, small cots, which have since rotted through. The material used for the bedding has since been tattered and is soaked and molded. But unfortunately, you're not able to glean just where the Lord of Nightmares actually emerged from.
Okay. Well, it looks like there's nothing too dangerous down here. Then it's probably good enough. We can probably leave unless anyone else thinks that they've seen anything else they want to look at. I see we should probably go up and see how our young friend's doing.
I mean, can any of us the rest of us make any rolls to see if we find something different?
I was gonna say I can offer a general scan roll.
Yeah.
Let me know how you would go about doing this. You're pretty confident that you've probably explored, at least to the best of your knowledge, most of what the Undercroft has for you. What all would you do to kind of gain a little bit more information about the surroundings?
I think Larry would just look for any, potential signs of maybe a hidden room or something. Like, is there any air passing through a wall or something that seems unnatural?
Okay. I would have you probably give me an awareness roll, maybe?
Okay, well, that's probably not going to do anything for us.
Close?
Nah.
It's hard to tell just based on the surrounding area, the disrepair that the fort itself is in. It's hard to tell what could be natural and what could be not, just based on the passage of time versus, what could have been done by the Lord of Nightmares himself.
I think Aranel would maybe try to look at the walls to see if there were any, artifacts or paintings or anything specific that could point us in a different direction.
Okay, go ahead and give me a scan roll.
Alright.
Of course.
I did spend a hope on that. I didn't need to, but just
all right. So, Aranel, what I would say is perhaps you see along the walls of this main hallway, you can see what look to be scratches, almost as if like 4 claw marks making their way down along the wall, leading towards one of the rooms at the far end.
Well,
and
let me take a peek.
As you make your way down there, you can see that the room itself seems empty.
Is it also filled with water?
It is.
Okay. Have we already been in this room?
I'd say you probably peeked in.
Okay. Well, I mean, if it was the spirit, I suppose it doesn't need a manifestation and a way to walk in, but it's a little odd. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's something we're going to divine today. We can note it for later.
Yes, I suppose so.
Just kind of stomp his foot on the floor. Does it feel like it's a very mucky, or is it actually a solid floor in there? I'm assuming this is stone.
Yeah, as you set foot inside the room, you can feel that there is no floor, and your foot sinks probably about 6 inches before you're able to pull it back, and you realize that the water here is actually pretty deep.
Well, all right. Well, that might explain something.
Well, I did not come dressed for a swim, so I think we're done here.
I think so too.
Agreed.
Just take a look at it and turn around and let everybody head out and follow them up with the torch.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just take one last look, kind of squint at it, be like, nah, and just leave.
As much as I'm curious, I'm not quite willing to dive in.
I'm not that curious, yes.
Yes.
Correct.
All right, Miragar, what are you doing while all this is going on? They're gone for about an hour or so.
About an hour or so. I think Miragar is just probably cleaning his cast iron skillet. The kind of decayed frost or whatever it was that was left from the Lord of Nightmares has kind of freaked him out a little bit, and so he's probably just kind of cleaning everything in his pack meticulously.
Okay, Sounds good. And at this point, you feel as though whatever evil was left upon that skillet is perhaps washed away, but the area doesn't seem cleansed fully. You can kind of still feel that weight on your shoulders, but you don't feel as though any of its residual taint has left itself on your person or your equipment. And so you all resurface back to find Miragar meticulously scrubbing his equipment.
Okay.
And Orothel looks over at you all and says, well, shall we attempt to pick up Deo's trail once again?
Yes, I believe so. I'd rather not spend more time in this place.
Agreed.
Indeed. And you all make...
Oh, it wasn't all that exciting for you, was it, Aranel? I mean, you as an elf were able to sleep. It must have truly been boring.
It wasn't pleasant. We'll put it that way.
Yes.
I'd much rather sleep on my own.
Fair.
All right. And so... as you all make your way out of Erthad Celyn, you make your way to the eastern side of the river and trek back downwards to the south towards where you found that Deor had struck out and left his boat in the reeds. So you all make your way back down south and you find the tracks left by Deor as he set out with his heavy pack. I would have the hunter go ahead and give me a quick hunting roll. Very good. Okay.
Ooh, despite that, that feat dies best attempts.
All right. So, with that, you can see that as you lean down and you look and see the trace, the path which he was following, it looks as though Deor had set off northeast toward the Misty Mountains. However, one other thing that you notice, some fresher tracks. It looks as though he was followed.
Huh. What do the tracks look like?
These are boots.
Okay. Can I tell if they're of Manish make or Dwarven make or what?
You can give me probably a riddle roll.
Okay. Nope.
Okay. At this point, yeah, it's a little difficult to tell exactly of what make they are, but you can tell it seems as though it's not just one person who was following Deor. It seems as though there was probably a company which was following them.
Well, I can't tell who's following him, but I don't think they're friendly if it's this many, unless he brought a whole group with him.
The letter said he left alone.
Yes,
Right.
well, unless he
Don't think they
found
would
some...
fit in the boat.
Yes, unless he found some hired help along the way somehow, I would agree somebody's trailing him. And probably not for good intent.
And you said he's going northeast along the river?
For the immediate, it looks as though he is striking out along the river. However,
I doubt that he's going to Rivendell.
with that, Orothel speaks up and she says, "It seems unwise to travel along the river as these are ranger lands."
Well, we follow the tracks and see where they lead.
All right, and with that, I will have our guide give me a travel roll, please.
What kind of terrain is this?
This is, as you can see, these are still kind of in the river plains. The further you travel, you begin to make your way past the tree line, and the forest is left behind you.
All right.
You can travel for a few days. Boop, boop. And you travel up the river for a day, and you can see that indeed the tracks do make their way and divert away from the river off to the east. And at this point, let's see, turn here. Boom, boom, boom. It is at this point.
Well, our dwarf friends did say something about more, yeah?
I would have, for our first event, I would have our lookout make a quick awareness roll, if you would, please.
Be ready to have your computer break. All of the dice.
All of the dice. All right, and with that, you look out over the plains, and it seems as though you can see a gray rain curtain moving its way up the Misty Mountains in your direction. And with it, it brings a wind, and you are feeling a little bit fleeter of foot. You spying that weather has actually gained you an extra day.
Ooh.
As you travel with the wind.
Nicely done.
Sweet.
All right, and I would have yet another travel roll, if you would.
Oh no.
By one.
By one.
It's always by one.
All mid on my dice. That's great.
All right. And so, you make your way further east, and as you do, you can tell that you are getting into the foothills of the Misty Mountains. The trail makes its way east and then north once again as you get deeper and deeper into the foothills.
I forgot to put my map die on both of those rolls.
Oh gosh. What would that be?
Yeah.
You would, it would have been a well. It would have been okay. You know what? I'll tell you what. If you want, I will allow you to add one to make that last one a success.
If you don't want me to do it, that's totally fine because I forgot.
I will allow it. I will allow it.
Okay.
You always
By
forget
the
about his
skin of my
map.
teeth.
All right. And so you make your way to the base of the Misty Mountains. And you can see there is some a bit of a tree line that makes its home along the edge as you get to the foothills, but you can see that there are steep crags and deep valleys which make tracking a little bit more difficult. And you can tell that quite indeed you seem to have lost the trail. I would have the scout, Mr. Miragar, make me an explore roll to see if you can find a good place to pick the trail up once again.
Fucking Gandalf.
Very nice.
Hell yeah.
All right. And so, as you do this, you can see off in the distance, just to your north, it looks like there is a rod sticking out of the ground with what looks to be a black flag fluttering in the wind. You can still see the gray rain curtain at your back, but it's making its way in.
He'll point it out and be like, does that mean anything to anybody?
I don't think that's a common ranger signal, but it could. Well, I don't know. Is it Orothel?
Do you want a lore roll?
I mean, with that, Orothel will just say, this is not something that my kin would leave behind as a signal. It seems odd. Come. And with that, she treks off down the hill in its direction, heedless of Yoral's pace.
Makes sense. Thrush is keeping an eye on that storm. He's not keen on that.
All right. And as you make your way up this next foothill, you can see that this rod, which was stuck in the ground, is of blackthorn make. And you can see that the black flag, which is waving from it, is, in fact, looks to be a cloak. As you crest the top of this hill, you can see that the rod, which was holding the flag, waving and flapping in the wind, is, in fact, a broken blackthorn staff. And the flag is a black cloak. And you can see at the base of it lies a corpse.
Is it Deor?
Do you approach?
Definitely.
Yeah. Very warily.
All right. And as you approach, you can see that this individual was a man. You can see that it looks as though his hands or his wrists are bruised as if bound. And it seems as though his throat has been cut. And you can see that there is a pool of now blackened blood that lies just underneath of him. Go ahead and give me... go ahead.
Miragar, this is rather grim work, but do you think you can figure out how long he's been dead for?
I can take a peek and see, I guess. Yeah, can I roll a
Medicine?
healing check to see if I know how long he's been dead for?
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Miragar knows the exact time.
Yeah, you can tell with the stiffness of the body, with the color of the blood on the ground, with the lack of color in his face, you can tell that this individual has been dead for at least a number of days, probably close to a week. You look at him and you can tell that he is a man probably about the same height as Thrush. You can tell that he's got brown hair, clean shaven. Fits the description of Deor.
My best guess would be that this is the Deor we were looking for, and whatever we saw that was following him, it looked like caught him.
Yes.
As you're kind of examining him, Miragar, you can tell that while his hands were bound, it looks as though in one of his hands he is clutching something.
Miragar will go and open his hand.
And as you grab hold of his hand, his other hand grasps your wrist with an iron grip. You see his eyes shoot open. His mouth utters words silently. As the clouds begin to wheel overhead, you feel this sense of dread come over you once again, not too dissimilar from what you felt at the Isle of the Mother. And you can feel this utter darkness wheel about you. I need everybody to give me yet another roll for wisdom.
He's not dead. He's not dead. He's not dead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Valor. I need a shadow roll for valor.
Gosh dang it, Moss. You know I'm not good at these.
Yes.
Hey, I succeeded. Okay. Oh no. Thrush.
I'm really good at rolling ones. We know this.
All right. So everybody succeeds somehow. Even Miragar, seeing this corpse grab onto your hand and grip tightly and utter words to you, looking deeply into your eyes. You're able to succeed on this shadow roll, while Thrush, you are taken by surprise once again as it seems as though the spirits that haunt these lands have been awoken by some fell purpose. You gain 2 points of shadow. And as you do, I would have everybody also make me an awareness roll really quickly.
All of the dice.
Will you guys stop rolling so much dice? I can't see the roll button.
Yeah, I got a Gandalf ring.
All right.
Hey.
And with that, you all, let's see, Aranel and Thrush, you can sense that you are not alone on this hilltop. And as you look around, you can see that down from the hills and out from the tree line pours a horde of orcs.
Nope. Bow.
Screaming,
Immediately.
"Don't let them escape! Kill the elf lickers and the Tarks before they give away us our position!" And with that,
No good. No good.
we are going to end.
No!
Yeah.
You're so